here with one last video for the year. I did in fact finish Shades of Grey. That puts me at 41 books for the year, one more than my goal, my Goodreads challenge goal, and we're here to talk about it. So this book was originally published in 2009, and a lot of its social commentary is still relevant now in modern day. I mean, it's not like 2009 was that long ago, but it's long enough. I guess these themes are universal. This is a very complex book, a dense book, so I'll do my best, but it is one of those books that you kind of have to read to understand. It kind of defies a certain amount of explanation just because of how complex the story is. On the surface, this is set in a future version of our world. We know that our world got to at least about 2135 or so based on the context clues in this book, and the world that the main character inhabits is around 500 years old. So we are looking at the late 2100s, early 2200s, possibly, for the setting of this book. This book is set in a world in which color is the hierarchy, a colortocracy, as it were, and that is because people can only see certain colors and certain amounts of color on the spectrum. So the color you can see and how much of it you can see determines your place in society. So instead of color of your skin or race or nationalism, it's all based on your ability to see certain colors. Eddie Russet is 20 years old. He and his father are traveling to the outer fringes so his father can be a temporary swatchman, which is the local doctor. The way ailments are treated in this world is by showing people certain colors to help fix whatever illness or problem they have. So a swatchman is a man who literally determines what's wrong with somebody, figures out which colors to show them to make them better. It's a very interesting situation. And as a kid who loved going to the paint store or to the Home Depot and looking at color swatches as a kid, this appeals to me really a lot. It's kind of a ridiculous thing, but that was one of my favorite things to do, was collect these color palettes and dream about what colors I would paint my room or my house or things like that. So yeah, I don't know, it's a cool idea in my mind. There is an ability, I guess, in this world to create synthetic colors that everyone can see. It's natural colors that not everyone can see. So you can create a synthetic yellow that even somebody who only sees red can see the yellow, because it's I'm not entirely sure how all the science works. In any case, Eddie and his father are headed out to this town of East Carmine. Everything is obviously color named, color related. And Eddie is on the verge of taking his Ishihara, which is the test that will determine how much color he sees and what his predominant color is. And then, if you are above a certain amount, you can be part of the council and you can be a prefect of the town and so on and so forth. You can possibly go work for National Color, which is basically the company that supplies color to towns. They have color pipelines to pipe in color. It's a very complex, dense read, but basically Eddie goes to this town. The rules don't apply, and the rules are very, very important in this world. There is this person named Munsell, who every town has a statue of, and he wrote all of these rules, and everybody follows these rules, and have done for 500 years. It's a very, rigid hierarchy, and it's anyway. In any case, Eddie goes to this fringes town and realizes people have found ways to circumvent the rules, or they don't, adhere to them as much. They're willing to bend and break them under some circumstances, and he struggles to, deal with this, and then he's also kind of fallen for a girl named Jane, who is a Jane Grey, and Greys are low on the totem pole. They don't see color. They're menial workers, laborers, what have you. They live in a part of town called the Gray Zone or whatever. It's, again, there's a lot of social commentary going on, and she actually knows some things about the, head office and the society that the head office wouldn't want anyone to know, but she has made some discoveries, and she, at first doesn't trust Eddie, and then slowly takes him into her confidence, and he begins to realize that this utopia-esque, very rigid but comfortable world, at least for him, he begins to understand his privilege, but also just like he begins to understand that maybe this is not the best way to go about having a society. In any case, Eddie is, in fact, too stupid to live. The book opens with him acknowledging that, because he is being eaten by a Yaraveo, which is a giant man-eating tree. And he's recounting everything that happened up to the point of him being in this Yaraveo. But the book does continue a little bit past that, so you can, spoiler, but you can guess that he survives this Yaraveo. But so what I like about Jasper Fforde, and he's best known, I guess, for the Thursday Next books, or those nursery crime series. I didn't read the nursery crimes. I read a couple of the Thursday Next. I thought they were fine, but I read this back in 2009 when it came out, and I really, really liked it. And what I really like about his writing, and it's not for everyone, because his writing requires an amount of work from the reader, he trusts his readers to be smart enough to catch on and put things together. He's not going to spoon feed it to you. He's not going to spell it out for you. He's expecting you to pay attention, gather those clues, and, construct an idea of what this world he's created. Now, what he does really, really well is that he tells a story at the same time that he's feeding you information. So he's world building and giving you plot, like, in tandem. And it means that the book is a slower read. It's dense. And I also don't recommend this particular version because the writing is super small. It's like, but yeah, so, you can read like 10, 15 pages and feel like, oh wow, that's a lot. I've got to digest it for a minute as I start to put together how this world works and, who's who. And I mean, there are a lot of characters. Luckily, with the color names, it makes it kind of easy to keep track of who's who and what's up. But yeah, I mean, I gave this a 4.8. Again, Eddie is too stupid to live, and he makes some decisions where you just want to strangle him, but at the same time they're very true to his character as it is like presented, so you can't really be that surprised that he makes these choices, and you're just like, dude, just do the easy thing, or say, but he doesn't. He almost never does, and that's how he ends up in a Yaraveo. But in any case, it's a really good book, and the reason I chose to reread it is that finally next year we are getting a sequel. I think Red Side Story. I'm not entirely sure if it's a sequel, a prequel, a companion novel, whatever. I will be so excited to return to this world and see what happens, because I just really do like this book. I was curious. I was worried rereading it. I was like, am I not gonna like it as much as I remember, because sometimes you leave a book and you just have fond memories, and I didn't remember all of the intricacies of the plot. I remembered overarchingly, but like not all of the details. And the details are important, and I assume they will be important in the next book as well, so I'm glad to have refreshed my memory before the next book comes out. But in any case, yeah, so I give it a 4.8. It's not like a perfect book. It is a lot of work. Eddie is a bit irritating at times, but overall, if you like this kind of thing, if you don't mind a book that isn't going to spoon feed you, that you're gonna have to do a little work, and has like incredible world building, like just very detailed, then I recommend it, definitely. And when Red Side Story comes out, I will read it and let you know how it goes. In any case, this is my last book of the year, my last video of the year. We'll start next year talking about all the movies and stuff I've been watching. But in the meantime, Happy New Year, and until we meet again, take care.